All right, Ed, SEC are suing Coinbase. We're continuing on with a theme of yesterday and Binance having a hard time here in Australia and SEC trying to regulate everybody out of existence and put a whole lot of fines. What's going on with Coinbase, man? What did you find out?
Yeah, I didn't want to talk about this topic 2 days in a row, right? We do like to mix it up a little bit. I mean, just yesterday we were talking about Binance and why it was an important story.
It's a headline.
Yeah. I mean, the story was that the SEC was going after Binance, and it's a big deal. And when we talk about why, and then today, what happened? We get news that now 1 day later they're going after Coinbase, and this is something that I think is not getting a whole lot of press right now because there are so many other things, that's
a blown up dam, for example.
Yeah, blown up dam. So, but this is important stuff that people need to be aware of it because it is going to affect everybody. There's a theme to this. Now, I did do a short presentation on this, so I'll tell you the whole skinny on it. I think I uploaded it, so let me fingers crossed to see if it works. Okay, so yesterday it was Binance that was in the crosshairs of the SEC, right? They decided to sue Binance. And now today, there's news out that today they're suing Coinbase. Let's take a quick look at an article out of Zero Hedge. A day after the SEC sued Binance, the world's largest crypto exchange, Bloomberg reports that Gensler and his anti-crypto goons have now sued Coinbase in federal court in New York on Tuesday, alleging the crypto firm broke U.S. securities rules, claiming the exchange is acting as an unregistered broker. And this is a tweet out of the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. Boy, the SEC has their own Twitter account. Today, we charge Coinbase Inc. with operating its crypto asset trading platform as an unregistered national securities exchange, broker, and clearing agency, and for failing to register the offer and sale of its crypto asset staking as a service program. So what changed at the SEC since Coin's IPO was approved by the SEC? Good question. Okay. The SEC approved the listing of Coinbase on the stock exchange not too long ago. So you got to wonder what's new today, because apparently they did their due diligence for the IPO, right? At least they should have. Okay, so listen, I'm going to go down memory lane here a little bit, not to toot my own horn, but to kind of make a point. I've been talking about this issue, including specifically at Coinbase, for a while now. Let's start with the predictions that I made for 2023. And I made my predictions right at the end of last year. So you can see here my 2023 prediction. And what was my number one prediction for the year? Am I good or what? Now, Binance and Coinbase have not failed yet, but FTX did. And I promise you that before the end of the year, we are going to see exchanges go out of business, partly because the crypto space is just so weak that these exchanges have not been able to generate any money, but also because the government is going after them. And I did another video on Coinbase titled Coinbase, Good News for the Company, Terrible News for the Customers. Coinbase, good news for the company, terrible news for the customers. What did I say? Okay, so the reason why this market has had this little pop here is because news came out that they settled with the SEC. The SEC had accused Coinbase of not having strong enough KYC for their customers, background information on their customers. And so they were suing Coinbase. And now Coinbase is a very compliant company. They don't like to cause any waves with the authorities. And so with the SEC for $100 million. Half of that went straight to the SEC, and half of that is going toward the company's compliance division. Okay, so if I were an executive at Coinbase right now, I'd be saying, what the hell? I just gave you $100 million just 4 months ago. And now you're coming back and suing me again? Just tell me what the damn rules are so I can follow them. This just demonstrates the government isn't interested in telling you the rules. It wants you out of business. They've got a CBDC coming up next month. So yesterday we had Binance. Today we had Coinbase. You got to wonder who they're going to be suing, tomorrow. It just feels like this is the week that they're going to purge the entire crypto exchange industry. And I've done other videos on Coinbase, and I won't go into them here I want to respect your time. But listen, we do need exchanges in order to operate in the crypto space. That's our on-ramp and off-ramp. But there are two things that every crypto consumer must do if you're going to be in the crypto space. Number one, you want to have multiple exchange accounts set up. I mean, I hate Coinbase, but I do have an account at Coinbase. You need to have options, okay? Because when one falls, you got another one you can use. When one exchange doesn't honor this token, the other one might. If you're going to be a crypto consumer, you can't have just one exchange. Just open accounts at many, half a dozen or a dozen. It doesn't cost you anything, so get them opened up. And the second thing you do is you don't keep any of your assets on any exchange, because if and when they go out of business, like FTX did, any assets you have on the exchange are going to be gone. But the main message here is I want to make everyone aware of what the government is doing here. This is a concerted effort to get all the competition out of the way. They've got their precious CBDC coming up. And God forbid you have any alternatives. That is what this is about. The government is trying desperately to remove any competition in the monetary space. They don't want you to have the freedom to conduct business in alternate forms outside of their precious fiat currency and CBDC. And how are Coinbase and Bitcoin responding to this news? Let's take a look. All right, the chart is not looking good. If you look back further, 1 year. Look at this. Next support on this guy, next major support is down here at around that $31 level. And I do think it's going to get there. And how about Bitcoin? Okay, so Bitcoin is down another 2% on the day, continuing its sell-off from yesterday. And if you look over on the far right here, this is take a quick gander at a bunch of cryptos. They're all kind of looking the same, isn't it? Look, all these charts look the same. They're all selling off. Everything's selling off. Everything looks everything looks exactly the same. Look at these sell-offs. When you see the entire space, the entire industry having the same reaction, that tells you this is a big event, and everything in the crypto space is getting caught up in this news. The street, I promise you, is sensing that there is an all-out attack by the government on the entire crypto space. Keep that in mind when you look at your cryptos, okay? You might have a really good crypto that wants to go up on its own merits, but it's being sucked down by the gravitational pull of the group. Okay, and that's my quick message for the day.
All right, well done, Ed. That was really well said again, taking the ultra complex topics and making them nice and simple and easy to understand. And you gave a really nice course of action there as well. I thought if you're in crypto, what you need to do is get your crypto off the exchange and into your wallet, and then make sure if you got multiple cryptos, then you've got multiple exchanges that you can go to as well. I thought that was really practical advice. And, that's not financial advice. It's just kind of how you operate in that space. If you've got one on-ramp and one off-ramp and everything is sitting on that exchange, if it goes bye-bye, you're in big trouble. So don't do that.
Yeah. No, thanks for the kind words. Yeah, people have to always look behind, like you said, we pulled the curtain here. We want to look behind the headlines and look at why things are happening. What's the reason for this? Why is this person doing that? Why is the government doing that? What is the reason? So there's always a reason, right? Things don't have to happen randomly out there. There's a reason why the government is going after these exchanges. And it's not
Tell me what you think of this as you're saying that, as they're going after the exchanges, and governments and businesses and people, just as a rule, have two choices. They can use a carrot or a stick approach, and they're using a stick approach here. Do you think that there's going to be a stage at any point where, we're releasing our CBDC. There it is. It's released. Bad luck. Now you have to use it. And there's no carrot or stick there. It's just bad luck.
Okay, well, what they've been doing with the CBDC, they've been doing it in reverse. Usually they use the carrot first, to get people into the program. Then they bring out the stick. Okay,
and this is the stick when they're crushing these exchanges, right? They're whacking them.
Right. So far we've seen nothing but sticks. Now, some of those sticks are things like it's getting more and more difficult to pull your money out of the bank. It takes you longer to get your money out of the bank, and you have to justify what you're spending your money on when you pull your money out of the bank. Things like your credit lines are being shrunk. Okay, when a lot of you, I like to hear in the comment section, have any of you seen a reduction in your credit card limits, arbitrarily? Some of you tried to apply for a mortgage, and last month they approved you for a $300,000 mortgage, but now you're only approved for a $200,000 mortgage. Are you a small business contractor and you use credit lines all the time to make payroll on a short-term basis or to buy lumber or material for your work for the short term and then pay it off? But now those credit limits are being reduced. So those kind of things are happening there as well. So they've already been, also businesses, you go to businesses, how many of them don't accept cash anymore? Right? You have to use a card. You were telling me a story about a grocery store, the story, right? So where the person in front of you was told, no, we don't accept cash anymore. So they've been prepping us for the notion of not using cash. They're getting used to the idea of not using cash. So there have been little sticks along the way. Not carrot. Now the carrots are going to come though, because the carrots are going to take the form of, the government just introduced this brand new program. For those of you who sign up by the end of the month, you get $1,000 free unicorn.